So this is a great clip of Mossab Hassan Youssef, the son of a Hamas co-founder and leader, who changes where he saw the light, supports Israel, understands what's really going on, and he's debating a guy called Omar Badar, who is anti-Israel and just hostile to Israel's just wars of survival. And he explains such an important point. He says to him, this is not a war for Palestine, for some land. It's a war of Allah. It's an ideological battle. And it's based on a political, colonialist, religious mindset, ideology that wishes to dominate the world and considers Israel on a religious, ideological level unacceptable. That's what's been going on here all along. It's not about land. If it was about land, this would have been solved a long time ago. Have a watch of Mossab's words and then I'll unpack it for you and explain further.
What's happening in Gaza is not a genocide. It's collateral damage. It's the use of human shields that has been justified by Omar and many advocates on behalf of Palestine who think that the use of human shields and kidnapping people and raping and looting and the calls for annihilating of the human race is a form of resistance.
That's completely baseless. I've never
This is
justified any of these
You
things.
shut up. You shut up. It's my turn now.
Yeah,
So now,
by all means, yeah.
the thing
Unhinged.
is,
Go on with your
they
unhinged rambling. Go for
they
it.
invert the narrative. They invert the narrative. Every time they suffer a defeat, they call it a genocide. And we say, no, there is a big difference between defeat and a genocide. You started this war and you killed Jewish people on October 7 by the name of Allah, not by the name of Palestine. Then the entire Muslim world backed Hamas in a global offensive against the Jewish people, a small minority that is resilient to time, with overwhelming evidence in relationship to the land, the only indigenous people to the land who did not oppose allowing the Arabs to stay in the state of Israel.
Yep.
This is why we have 2 million Arabs in Israel. So now, to accuse Israel
that's
of
ridiculous.
ethnic cleansing,
Israel was
to
established by
accuse
ethnically
Israel of
cleansing
genocide,
Palestinians. That's how
while
they
you
became
are
a
the
state.
perpetrator
He just said Israel was established by ethnic cleansing, Badar. Lie, and I'll explain why.
You are the perpetrator. Why you are interrupting me? I listened to your false narrative all the way until the end.
No. Go
So
ahead.
this is the time to sit down and listen.
Carry on.
Sit
No, you're
down
right.
and
Carry
listen.
on.
He is so good, Mossab, at offering this moral clarity. We heard Cenk say a similar thing. Cenk Uygur say on Piers Morgan's show maybe a week or so ago, saying that you think Hezbollah would be doing what they're doing if there wasn't an Israeli occupation of Palestinians in the West Bank? That's what it's about. Of course, it's not about jihad and all that. It is so delusional. This is what it comes down to. People on Badar's side and Cenk's side, they think, or they say, I don't know whether they actually believe it or not, but they say it all comes down to a legitimate grievance on the side of the Arabs. And if you just appease that, if you just deal with that and the ethnic cleansing and all that, then it'll be fine. Mossab's saying, no, this is an ideological hatred. It doesn't bend to any kind of appeasement. It existed prior to Israel's establishment, prior to October 7th, etc., etc. Now the question is, which one is the truth? We've spoken about this so many times on JTV, and I could show you so many angles. And by the way, even if it was true that Israel did some heinous crimes, the stuff of October 7th and others would still not be considered justified resistance. My grandparents' generation, when they left Auschwitz and the Nazi horrors, all the Arabs who were expelled, Arab Jews that were expelled from their Arab countries, if they then started raping German women and burning in ovens babies, German babies, that would not be considered legitimate resistance. So, but I'll park that. What I will say is that he says it's all down to ethnic cleansing. That's how Israel was founded. Quite the contrary. Let's understand that this ideological hatred against the Jews existed for thousands of years, and this is just another modern manifestation. The leader of the Arabs of British Mandate Palestine, know that word Palestine is actually a European colonialist invention, trying to sever the Jewish people's ancient connection to the land. But nonetheless, the leader at the time was the Grand Mufti, Hajj Amin al-Husseini, who met with the Nazis, who went to the concentration camps and wanted to bring the Nazi solution to Israel. So now it's the Jews who are the ethnic cleansers. This happened before Israel existed, before Israel was created. And then when Israel was created, what happened? So people have this impression that it's like Israel came to the land and kicked out all the Arabs, and what do you expect? Of course they're unhappy. What actually happened was this. There were Jews living in the land. There are Arabs living in the land. The Jews have lived there for way more time. They started returning there en masse in the 19th and 20th century. But yes, there had been an Arab population there that was growing also at a similar rate from the 19th and 20th century onwards, growing more as the Jews also returning there. But yes, even prior to that, there were some Arab communities there. Pretty small, but nonetheless, they were there. So the United Nations in 1947 were handed the land to deal with it after the British Empire was controlling it. So they say, well, we've got Arabs living here, we've got Jews living here. What should we do? The last sovereign state there was a Jewish one, but there's a lot of Arabs living there who have been there for many centuries. So what do we do? So they said, okay, we'll split the land. We'll split it in two. We'll have a Jewish state and an Arab state, and the Arabs can live in the Jewish state and the Jews can live in the Arab state. Very nice. And what did the Jews say? Fine. No ethnic cleansing, no displacement, nothing. And the Arabs, they planned a genocidal war against the Jews, who had a far stronger claim to re-establishing sovereignty than they did, the Arabs did. There's an Arab-Palestinian majority in Jordan. Let that be their state if they want it to be. There's no precedent for an Arab state in that land, sovereign state. So let the Jewish people have it. But no, the Jews said we'll split it in two. And the Arabs went to war. They launched a genocidal war against the Jewish state, wanted to throw them all into the sea. And in response to that genocidal war, Israel had to fight back and get hold of certain territories in order to protect herself. And so actually much of the displacement happened when Arabs left because their leaders told them flee, and then once we've got rid of all the Jews, then you can come back. And now that's our fault. That's Israel's fault. You call that ethnic cleansing? It is ethnic cleansing, but by the Arab side, to the Jews. Enough of the lies, enough of the nonsense. It's becoming so clear now. Enough, enough, enough. If you've made it to the end of this video, I have a request for you. I want to expand JTV. I think JTV's reach has been phenomenal, but we could do so much more to get the truth seen to so many more people. And the way to do that is to grow our team, to have more presenters doing daily shows like me, to have more documentary content, animated content, vox pop, supplementary content, and we'll grow at a much faster pace, which means that we can get the truth shared and spread far more widely, and we can actually start to compete with other anti-Israel media entities online and on TV. So if you'd like to partner with me in doing that, I want to build a team to do that and make that happen, and we're going to need some funds to do it. So I'm planning on doing one big fundraising day. And if you'd be up for getting involved, not necessarily to donate, but simply to have a small mini page on our fundraiser and reach out to all your network and see if they'll be prepared to chip in, that would be amazing. So if you'd be up for doing that, it would be a small commitment of just one day, and we're going to find a date soon. People have already been signing up, which I'm so thrilled about. So there's going to be real strength in numbers here. If you'd be up for helping out, click on the link in the video description below this video. It's a Google form where you just put in a few of your details. It'll take you literally 20 seconds. And I'll be in touch with you soon about this small but nonetheless powerful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.